Looking for the best Dutch oven to elevate your cooking game? Pot of food in this video. We compare 5 top-rated Dutch ovens to help you find the perfect fit for your kitchen. Whether you're braising meats, baking bread, or simmering stews, these Dutch ovens deliver unbeatable performance and style. Okay, friends, let's see top 5 best Dutch ovens review.
Number 1. Lodge Cast Iron Round Dutch Oven. Lodge is most well known for its cast iron skillets, in part due to how well made they are for the price. That reputation holds for their enameled cast iron Dutch oven, too. I put the 6-quart model to the test by searing meatballs, which achieved a nice even golden brown exterior, making one-pot chicken and rice, which required a stove-to-oven maneuver that left everything evenly cooked, simmering a batch of beans. The pot was able to maintain a gentle heat, and more. The Lodge is taller than the others mentioned previously, with a smaller bottom surface area. This means less space for browning. For reference, it fits 4 chicken thighs nicely, but no more, and I can usually have 5 in my 5.5-quart Staub. But it has a more rounded shape where the bottom meets the sides, which I actually like. The movement of my spoon felt especially seamless as I sautéed smaller ingredients like diced onion and grains of rice. I also think it's a bit less refined looking than the options above, with a chunkier knob on the lid. And the lid isn't quite as tight-fitting, not so much so that steam escapes, just in that it's harder to settle it into a locked position. Still, the Dutch oven comes in a ton of color options, just like the Staub and the Creuset. And it has a white interior like the Creuset and made in. Though I haven't spent years putting it through the ringer, it's worth noting that there's no discoloration so far. As for endorsements from people who have used it longer, strategist junior writer Bella Druckmann has owned hers for several years. Though it was her starter model and she has added a couple of others to her collection since then, the Great Jones Duchess, below, and a non-enameled cast iron Lodge meant more specifically for baking sourdough, she still keeps this one around. It distributes heat evenly and is fairly easy to clean because of the enameled surface. Usually a 30-minute soak is enough to tackle the particularly stubborn food remnants, she says. And the pros stand by it, too. Both Todd Polsinelli, owner of the Chloe in New Orleans, and Irani have had their models for nearly a decade, use them all the time, and say it's in just as good shape as it was when they bought it, with Irani calling it pretty damn near indestructible. Number 2. Staub Enameled Cast Iron Round Dutch Oven. This is the Dutch oven I've owned for 7 years, and the one that was recommended by far and away the most experts. It works just as well as the day I got it and has proven to be durable on the inside and out. It distributes heat incredibly evenly, whether I'm searing meat at a high temperature, sweating out onions low and slow, or leaving a braise in the oven for several hours. And it's responsive to variations in heat, too, more so than a heavy cast iron skillet. I can start something blazing hot, then take it down, then bring it back up seamlessly. And though it's easy to argue that both this and the Creuset are quite similar in terms of price point, durability, and overall superior build, I'm convinced that people's preference for one or the other at least partially comes from which model they happen to get their hands on first. Staub has a couple of standout features. One is the black, instead of white, interior. While discoloration isn't a sign that your Dutch oven has stopped working, I like that mine has stayed clean looking on the inside. And it's not just that the dark color is hiding grime, the surface washes up well. I had a Creuset for a long time and it eventually got a little brown and scratched, says Colin Wyatt, executive chef at 12 in Portland, Maine. Staub looks great with age. Both recipe developer and food writer Grace Elkus and recipe developer Tara O'Brady say the darker color is helpful for bread baking, too. The crust gets that chestnut brown shade, which lighter interiors aren't able to achieve, O'Brady says. She also points out the comfortable grip. No matter what I'm handing it with, dish towels, a silicone mitt, a regular mitt, it has good sturdy, wide, thick handles that hold well, she says. I personally lift mine with ease, move it around the stove, and take it in and out of the oven. It's sturdy but not cumbersome. The lid fits tight and secure, and in addition has concentric dimples on the bottom, a characteristic that is meant to promote even condensation and drippage as steam builds inside of your pot. Both Wyatt and Meherwan Irani, owner of Chai Pani in Asheville, North Carolina, and founder of Spicewalla, say this actually makes a difference. When it's in the oven for a long time, the Staub seems to keep meat particularly tender and prevents it from drying out in any spot, Irani says. Though the Dutch oven comes in many gorgeous shades, O'Brady and Jay Wallman, owner of New York City's Mimi, say they like the all-black one because the outside doesn't show as much wear either. While that won't affect performance, if you care about a super clean look over time, it's something to keep in mind. My light gray version has some markings on the very bottom of the outside. Number 3. Made in Dutch Oven. Made in, a relative newcomer on the cookware scene, produces some of our favorite knives, skillets, and baking dishes. Now, we can add their Dutch oven to that list. I've been using mine for several months and so far, it seems just as well made as my Staub. Indeed, it's crafted in France, piggybacking on the century-old craftsmanship of Le Creuset and later, Staub, but is a fraction of the price, says Jorge Gaviria, founder of Macienda, who has been using his for over a year. The brand works with legacy producers to fabricate all of the quality of those heritage companies but for less money. In my experience, it conducts consistently even heat, both on the stovetop and in the oven, through multiple steps of a cooking process, like when I sear chicken thighs to golden brown, then sweat out alliums, then put everything back in the pot along with rice and water to cook together, or when I sear meatballs and then let them simmer with sauce on low for a long time, pictured below. Gaviria even says it works on what he calls the really crappy coil burners he has at home. It feels solidly built, has a tight-fitting lid, with a bigger knob than the Staub to open and close, and secure handles that make it comfortable to maneuver. Number 4. Dansk Købenstyle Dutch Oven. The main difference between this Dutch oven, or casserole dish, as the brand calls it, and the others on this list is that it's made from lightweight carbon steel instead of cast iron. This means it's easier to carry around, even when hot. Like carbon steel skillets, it heats up faster than cast iron, and likewise doesn't retain heat as well. The fact that it's overall more reactive to temperature changes is useful, for example, when you're braising and need to go from searing meat to gently sweating out aromatics, or deglazing a pan and want to get the liquid boiling quickly. The Dansk pieces in this family of cookware are well made. I've been using the handled saucepan version regularly for the last year, and it's not at all chipped or stained. And one more bonus worth mentioning is that the lid doubles as a trivet, which is nice for bringing the dish directly to the table. Number 5. Le Creuset Enameled Cast Iron Round Oven. In the 1920s, Le Creuset invented the Dutch oven as we know it today, forging a Dutch metal casting method with the smooth enamel coating. The design took off quickly and has never fallen out of favor. It's the most ubiquitous brand seen in the kitchens of celebrities and celebrity chefs alike, including Marilyn Monroe, Julia Child, Nigella Lawson, Taylor Swift, and too many more to count. Though I don't own one myself, I've used Le Creusets many times, including in my parents' kitchen, where I grew up cooking, and can attest that the build and heat conduction is equal to that of my beloved Staub. Recipe developer and cookbook author Alexis de Bosnek has had hers for a decade, and Alexandra White, owner of Crown Jewel in Great Diamond Island, Maine, for nearly double that. Despite what some others warned about discoloration, de Bosnek says that has happened only minorly, and White says not at all with hers, adding, "It's super easy to clean. I love that you can throw it in the dishwasher." I don't always do that, but I like to know that the option is there, especially as a mother of 3 children who make a lot of dishes. As for performance, Le Creuset cooks really evenly across the board, whether on the stove, in the oven, or even in a smoker, de Bosnek says. The lid is tight-fitting. The non-stick quality has lasted. It feels easy to handle. Thanks for watching.